winds of red tyranny went down as Hungarian patriots for 10 glorious days sent Russian armored might reeling in a struggle which pitted raw courage and rifles against tanks.
It's a beautiful day on 25th of October 2006. Tensions are a little lessened today than they have been over the last couple of days with the rioting and everything on the 23rd. As you can see though, here at Parliament, the Parliament Square is still fenced off and there are police, plenty of them around. So, rewinding back to 1956, this was the scene of a pretty terrible massacre on the 25th of October 1956. But let's first talk about the 23rd. On the 23rd, this is where the people gathered first, once they finally came into Pest from the Buda side of the Danube River, which is just on the other side of this building. And on the 23rd, lots of people gathered here, and they demanded to hear from Imre Nagy, who was a politician who had been Prime Minister in 1953. Now, 1953 was important because that was the year Stalin died, and when Stalin died, Nagy came into power and had proposed a lot of reforms. Well, the reforms never quite made it, and he was replaced. So, several years later, 3 years later, in 1956, Nagy became the figurehead for the revolution. And the crowd came here on the 23rd, which was a Tuesday. It was a Tuesday. They came here and they demanded to hear from Nagy. He eventually appeared somewhere in the building, some people say from a balcony, and gave a mediocre speech, and the crowd dispersed. 2 days later, the crowd came back. This time they came back with the Soviets and with the tanks, not in a violent way, but they were together with the tanks, fraternizing. So we're across the street now from the Parliament building, which is where the crowd basically came to in this Parliament place called Kossuth tér. And they gathered here, and it was primarily a peaceful gathering until later in the afternoon, about at this time during the day, when most reports say that shots came from the top of the agricultural building, which is this building here. So people were killed. Some estimates say as many as between 60 and 200 people were massacred that afternoon. So that was a very sad day for Hungarian history. It's debated whether the shots first came from here or from the Parliament building across the street, but either way, people were killed, and it turned the tide for the revolution. At the time, it could potentially have been a peaceful resolution, but then the blood had been spilt, and a lot of it at that. So that's what happened here in Kossuth tér on the 25th. Here on the side of the agricultural building, you can see a sculpture commemorating those who died on Bloody Thursday. These lead bullets. This is a statue of Imre Nagy, the person I was telling you about who spoke from the balcony, the representative of the people during the revolution. Note the patches in the wall. Bullet hole? Perhaps.